I'd rather be known. She tells me, depression sits on your lap like a fatted cat who knows you will stand, but doesn't mind because he knows you will sit down again. I ask her if depression sits on her lap the same way, or maybe, perhaps I offer, she carries it in her purse next to whatever prescription drug it is that makes her approach me, a gay man in a straight bar, and begin speaking in metaphor. She tells me, "You're an asshole. I always talk like this, and the pills I took have nothing to do with it." But then she confesses she is concerned, however, about how the Xanax she took will react with what she is certain could not be more than 4 or 5 margaritas she has thus far absorbed and or misplaced. "It won't make me go coma?" she asks, as if I'm naive enough to believe this is her first time mixing the two. "No such luck," I tell her, but that only provokes an impromptu palm reading, starring her between sips and puffs, telling me stuff she clearly memorized off the wrapper back of the gum she is smacking and chewing whenever she is not sipping, puffing, and or prophesying. Eventually, she remembers to add breathing to the rotation, claims to see sudden money and good sex in my near future, and moments later offers me $500 to sleep with her, telling me it's a joke before I realize it is such. And then she skizzes, slides suddenly serious, grabs my freshly examined palm, molds it into a fist, and gives a squeeze. A very personal squeeze. She asks me, "What do you do to feed the day?" And then when I don't respond, squeezes again, elaborates. "How do you wake up each morning fully believing this is not the day you will die?" It is somewhat clear that the return of my appendage is dependent upon a response, and I am certain that I cannot handle another squeeze. I answer her, "Listen, honey, I'm just a gay man in a straight bar, waiting for his pot dealer so I can go home, watch the women's Olympics gymnastic team optionals, grade some papers, and try not to think about fucked up people like her and me." And then I give her a squeeze, just to see how she likes it. She just smiles. I imagine it's because I'm the only idiot who ever answered her. And then she gives me my arm back like it's her gift to me and jumps back in the pond. Later, my business finished and on my way out, I see her in full lean, reading some guy's palm by the light of the pinball machine. This guy, I figure, if he answers at all, if he doesn't throw up, will respond to her question of what do you do to feed the day with, "I didn't know a days got hungry." And after giving it some thought, "What the hell does a day eat?" They ask me questions. Why? Because I get paid well. I set my own hours, and since I'm my own boss, I can pretty much smoke pot whenever I see that is what the situation demands. Do you live in Chicago but work in Indiana? Why? Because I can't see turning something as uninteresting as eating into a bloody ritual by paying too much money for too little food that is rarely prepared my way in an atmosphere that rarely makes me comfortable, where inevitably I finish before my dining partners and end up waiting impatiently for them to finish so that I can smoke my after-dinner bowl, which of course is now necessary since I gave up cigarettes to feel less guilty about smoking so much pot. Do you hate going to sit-down restaurants? Why? Because I generally find them obnoxious, overpriced, and too loud to hear or speak to anyone I came with. And although the limited frat boy-like entertainment possibilities and the generous selection of cheese dishes prepared in hidden microwaves beneath the bar can be distracting for 12 to 13 minutes, the sad fact is that while bars enable me to get shit-faced, silly, smelly, drunk, they still can't let me smoke a bowl, which to me is as necessary to drinking as well drinking. Do you hate going to bars? Why? Because I fear them more than I fear the Bible being right. And as long as they're a soft-shell Taco Bell, an extra-strength Orajel, I'll wait for all my teeth to go, get a group rate because I can't afford it, I have no insurance, and I spend all my money on pot. Do you hate going to dentists? Why? Because although I am proud, mind you, a hard-earned but long-in-coming state of mind of the way I was born, it's like someone proud of being born for their nationality, or proud of being born beautiful. And if I'm to be known, and I can't be known as George Burns or some other dead celebrity whose children never wrote a book about them, then I don't want to be known for whether I was more inclined to get a penis pup tent by watching Randolph Mantooth in Emergency versus Pamela Anderson in Baywatch. I'd rather be known for something I chose. I'd rather be known as a stoner. Because most people who hear that will quickly dismiss me as someone who makes no difference in this world. And that knowledge will bring them closer to the truth than anything I could ever tell them. Would you rather be known as a stoner than a faggot? I'd rather be known as a stoner than a faggot. I'd rather be known as a stoner than a faggot.